Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cook. Tonight, we've got co-host Mr. Buttsy over there. What are you drinking tonight there, Buttsy?
I got coffee.
Love that.
Taking a little break. It looks like you're continuing.
I was going to. I actually had a coffee right before this because I was out playing golf today, out at Mountain Shadows, and sure enough, I'm just like, I was looking at the liquor bottle, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? So here's to my first sip of the evening.
Cheers.
Oh, that's delicious. All right, but on tonight's episode, we've got an awesome episode for everybody. We've got the CJ Cup Byron Nelson recap. We've got the upcoming Wells Fargo Championship. We've got our Swannies Style segment. And then we got LIV Golf Singapore recap. So we're going to keep this one a little bit concise. We're going to keep it moving, keep it grooving. And we already got an audience member throwing in some hype here. Oh, Austin, throwing me a little happy birthday, Matt. I appreciate that. I am 27 years young plus 13. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate that. And without further ado, I also want to thank our sponsor, Swannies Golf. I've got the Swannies hoodie on right now. It's a little chilly here in studio. I got the hat on, and folks, you got to get over to swannies.co because Swannies is absolutely killing it right now. They're blowing up everywhere. I've been talking with guys left and right, especially out here in Arizona, that are like, man, I'm starting to see them everywhere. Ever since I started listening to the show, I'm seeing them in golf shops now. I picked up a few items here and there, but make sure to use promo code PullHookGolf25 if you order it on the website so that you can get yourself 25% off your entire order. Also got some cool details towards the Swannies Style segment that I'm going to be going over as well. So some cool details. So if that's a hint, definitely pay attention during that part of the show, and you'll hear some cool stuff. But again, Pull Hook Golf 25 at checkout at swannies.co. Get yourself some gear, folks. And the first segment we got tonight, Buttsy, we got the CJ Cup Byron Nelson winner, Taylor Pendrith. What do you know about little Taylor Pendrith?
I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. I know he's been grinding for a while. I did catch some highlights. I watched the little hole out there on the last day to, that probably is what won him the tournament. But yeah, I don't really know his background. Elaborate.
Yeah, so Taylor Pendrith, he's an absolute bomber. So he hits the ball a country mile, and I'm trying to see what his current stats are for driving distance this year. But he's won multiple times on tour. He is a guy that hails from good old Canada. So he's got 3 top 10s. Oh, and actually, I believe that's his first victory. My apologies. I thought he had won once prior, but he's got 3 top 10s, 5 top 25s. He's played in 6 events this year. Oh, that's just for 2024. My bad. Hang on. Let's go to 2022, 2023, because I want to say that he had a win there as well. No, he did not. I am full of shit tonight. Gosh, why do I feel like Taylor Pendrith has won more than one time on tour? He was a runner-up 2 years ago, but has had a pretty solid career. Good for Taylor Pendrith. I'm not going to waste more time bullshitting and saying that I know exactly his resume, because I don't. I know Bobby talked about him previously on this show because Bobby followed a lot of Korn Ferry Tour guys and knew all these guys that were coming up through and everything. But he's been on tour for a little while. We also have that, your pick from the week. Good old Jake
Mr.
Knapp. Nap time.
I thought he was going to do it, dude. I thought he was going to get it done.
He came out the gates racing with 264s back-to-back and had a couple shot lead going into the third round. You know what's crazy about this? So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, and we got Run PMC thrown up there. It's a little golf logo. So some of the audience members getting hyped already. Love that for everybody. So everybody feel free, if you are on millions.co, if you are on YouTube, if you are on Twitter, make sure to go ahead and add some comments in throughout the show. We will respond and answer to those. But Tom Kim, he struggled out the gates, really didn't play well overall for the entire week. We did have good old.
Bad.
He didn't play bad, which this kind of gets into the topic that I want to talk about around this. Everybody that is talking about, oh, it was such a weak field on the PGA Tour this week. Okay. Weak field and guys that aren't as well known making up the majority of the players. I'm getting to the point now where I don't feel like there's weak fields week in and week out, especially when, Buttsy, could you imagine shooting 10 under and finishing tied for 52nd?
52nd place. Yeah. No, I can't say. I definitely don't think the field was weak, and if they were, they didn't play like it. So.
And then Jake Knapp, who, like I said, started out 64-64, goes 67 on Saturday, loses a couple to the field because everybody was going out there just absolutely killing it, and then shoots a little bit of a, you come to expect it after you play so well the first 2 days, and then you have a little bit of a letdown. And what the crazy thing is, we're talking about a letdown being a 64 or a 67 on a Saturday. Then he shoots 70 on Sunday and finishes 8th at 19 under. Once again, do you imagine just shooting 19 under for 4 straight days on a long Bombers golf course and finishing 8th?
It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah. I don't know. This next week, I'm excited though. Well, we got 2 weeks, right? We got Myrtle, and then we got. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you say Myrtle, right? So actually, we'll talk about that a little bit as well. I do want to talk about some notables really quick because one that I know our longtime listeners like Austin and Rum PMC, they're going to know exactly who I'm talking about because Bobby, when he was on the show, he was caddying for S.H. Kim. So he actually, when he started the show, was caddying for Troy Merritt, who also played pretty well this past week. It's good to see Troy Merritt putting well because he was dealing with a bit of the yips. So that's what actually led Bobby to go to S.H. Kim because his bag became available, and S.H. is such a young talent. Everybody who is a caddy or, people within the PGA Tour, they all say the same thing about S.H. Kim, that he is by far the most talented South Korean to come on the tour. Okay. So that's talking cool. about Sung Jae Im. That's talking about Siwoo. That's talking about, who else am I forgetting? Just add some Kims in there, and I feel like we're...
So all of your constituents, that's a resounding thing. They think he's the most talented.
They do. They think he could 100% be the best Korean out of the bunch. And that right there, I mean, it says a ton about his game, but also the fact that he's a golfer. So what I mean by that is most Koreans hit a stock shot. He is a guy that works the ball either way. So with that said, I do want to throw up here. Golfer HD said, is this a new streaming platform? I'm discombobulated. Sorry about that, Golfer HD. This is our remote setup. So when we do in person, Buttsy and I are actually sitting by each other in person, where this one, we've got the little split screen here. Definitely check out the podcast version of it tomorrow for the kind of the finished product to it, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm on a Kodak disposable camera here. I apologize. So
and I'm in Singapore, so that's where we got two different things going on here.
Right there,
good old Singapore behind me.
Nice.
No, that's just a green screen, folks. We're just popping up the LIV Golf course this past weekend. But let me get back to S.H. Kim real quick because he finished tied for 4th at 20 under. Now, this kid is not broken through yet for a victory. His agent told me that as soon as he does, he's going to come on the podcast. And we're going to have him on to talk about his victory. So with that, S.H. Kim is one of these guys that can work the ball either way. There's no real stock shot. He can hit a cut, he can hit a draw, and he plays golf shots. He can hit it low, high. His wedge game kind of was what was lacking a little bit last year, and then a little bit of his putting too. So that's where, with S.H. Kim, I'm just waiting for him to break through. And once he does, that's going to be just, I mean, I think he's going to come on the scene because his golf swing is so fundamentally sound. It's so good.
And he's going to come on the pod, right?
I know. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
Good English?
No. So his agent's coming on with him.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's going to be part of it. But Aaron Rai, the two-glove Aaron Rai from good old England, he continues to impress, man. Another T4 at 20 under. We got Ben On also at 20 under, T4. And then Matt Wallace said that he's learning from the young guys, okay, that don't get so upset over a golf shot. Just move into the next golf shot. It's like, Matt, how old are you? Like, and you didn't know this until watching like Ludwig Oberg? Like, come on, buddy. Like, I heard that interview with him, and I'm like, that's really that's tough. So again, PGA Tour right now, these guys are still going out playing lights out there, and this was a bomber's golf course. I feel like,
What was the yardage? It wasn't short, 74 yards, something like that.
It was. I will tell you because it was on our last show notes. Let's see here. So we had 7,400 yards, par 71.
Yeah. So
deep
and wet and soft, right?
It was. Michael Kim was actually on Twitter talking about the golf course wasn't in the greatest of shape. They had a lot of rain. However, the greens, he said, were in the best condition he's ever seen. So in terms of for that golf course, I believe, I don't think he was talking about like best greens he's ever seen. More so specifically best greens he's seen there.
Gotcha.
Which, obviously, when the greens are in really good condition, you're going to see guys go really low. And that's what we saw.
We sure did.
I really thought Jake Knapp was going to do it, though. I was with you. I was like, man, this kid looks freaking flawless and just looks like a superstar. He looks like he's ready to get out the gates and get a couple wins under his belt and become one of the top-tier guys. I think he's got the length and the talent to do it.
So I was real busy. I didn't see what was the demise. I mean, if there was one, I know you said he didn't play terrible, but where did he stumble?
Just, ball striking,
stuff.
It just little things and just wasn't scoring. So wasn't putting lights out like he was the first 2 days. And that's the thing. It's like when you have 2 rounds that you go really low or even just one, it's like the guys that shoot 60 in a round. You could expect that next round coming out, they're going to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything's not going to be firing the same way. And so that's where, you get a lot of guys that they start a little bit slower, but they're still putting up good rounds. And then they finish the last 2 days really strong or last 3 days really strong and put those together. But this one, again, having Taylor Pendrith up there winning this thing in the 20s, that's pretty damn good stuff right there. So,
yeah. Saw his, what was it, his buddy that came out? They cracked a beer afterwards. I saw that. Really cool stuff. So,
yeah, Austin says PGA Tour replaced Cam's mullet with Knapp's mullet, and I totally agree. We got
a little ways to go before that mullet achieves the same level of
for sure,
of pedigree. It's not quite there yet.
That is a topic we're going to be talking about, though. Some of the golf mullets once we get to the Swannies Style segment. That's going to be a pretty interesting one, to say the least. But let's get into the upcoming Wells Fargo Championship, which is the signature event. And then we'll talk a little bit about the Myrtle Beach one as well, just because of what's going on around that and some of the invites that have taken place. But this is a signature event. It is a no-cut event. So you're seeing all of the top players in the world. However, there's a couple of headlines. First one is Scottie Scheffler. His wife still pregnant.
What's going on there? And we were leaving. I told you, what I tell you, it's bullshit. It was publicity stunt. I'm almost positive at this point.
Oh, it was 100%. Yeah. Now, a quick word from our sponsor. Swannies is here with a fresh take. Performance-based materials are a given these days. But if you're looking for the stretchiest and most lightweight pieces that deliver a look that says, I'm here for a good time, take a walk on the Swannies side. With fabric sourced from recycled plastics and designs sourced from our very own weekend warriors, Swannies is looking out for both our planet and those that need a little style to boost their drive another 15 yards. Premium looks from top to bottom at swannies.co. Because as soon as you said it, I'm like, I got to look into this. And then her due date was like in 3 weeks later, which sure, like she could have an early pregnancy, I guess. But like they played it up so much like, oh, Scotty Scheffler, if she goes into labor, he is out of here. And they meant to do that. They meant to leave everybody on a cliffhanger.
What a great story. Like, might, forego winning to be home. He's that great of a guy, Just, yeah.
So. We bit. So, I mean, a lot of people bit, but now a lot of people are pissed off. They're like, what the hell? He's like, his wife still hasn't had the baby yet? Like, what's happening? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, is this baby going for 10 months or what?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll see. Now, so Scotty Scheffler is not there. They are expecting their first child. The one that is scary for the headlines of this tournament is Ludwig Åberg withdraws with a knee injury.
I feel like that happens to all these dudes that come out and they kind of crack onto the scene, and then before you know it, here we go. Here comes the injury.
I was talking to my trainer today because I went in this morning to like finally become a normal human being again after that Friday, Saturday, Sunday run that I had. I did play golf in there though. So for all of you guys, don't miss a tee time. Like even if you're drunk, do not miss a tee time. It's just a bad luck.
We got a buddy like that, don't we?
Oh, sure do.
Yeah.
So just don't be that guy. That being said, now,
sorry,
I was talking with my trainer this morning about that exact thing with Ludwig, and he's just like, yeah, man, that is not good at his age to be having knee problems. And who know? I don't know who Ludwig is trained by in the gym or anything like that, but I do hope that he's got a good team around him. You would imagine that he does, especially with the money that he's making and everything. But hopefully he rehabs that and comes back soon because this is a huge event.
Yeah. What is it? 20 mil the purse, something like that.
Let's see. I got it up here. Let's see.
It's not a lot of cash on the line.
There is a lot of cash on the line. 20 mil. You were spot on. Look at that. I love that.
That was a guess, a real one. I didn't look that up. I don't have my phone right here.
Yeah, that's good. Now, as we're talking about the Wells Fargo Championship and with it being a signature event, thanks, LIV, for that. We do have the previous winner of this tournament being Wyndham Clark. A little tie-in from trainer to Wyndham. Trainer's not there this week, so we'll see how Wyndham plays. But do you think Wyndham can repeat? He's had a pretty strong year this year.
I don't think so. I really don't. I know he has had a strong year, but I don't think he's been that good lately. I don't see that happening. I do have a pick that I'm stirring on. I can't wait to get to it. So, that's probably a bigger reason why I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen for him. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Guys who play Quail Hollow well tend to play it well all the time. It's
efficiently, consistently. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those golf courses that it is a bomber's golf course. Let's get into a little course info here about Quail Hollow, folks. Bring it a little bit further up to speed so that you can put in your bets properly because this is a par 71. And we did say last week was at 7,400 yards as a par 71. This is at 7,558 yards. So this is a bomber's golf course. Now, you're going to be surprised with some of the past winners here because not always are they absolute bombers that win here, but guys that normally do win are bombers. So take, for instance, Rory McIlroy. Ooh. Wow, that came out of nowhere. Little airflow coming back up through from the whiskey. Now, Max Homa, Rory McIlroy has won here multiple times, one of his favorite golf courses. Max Homa has also won here multiple times, which Max Homa is not known as a bomber. He can still get it out there. But the key around this golf course and playing very, very well is that you have to drive the ball well, but you have to hit it far.
Yeah.
That being said, you also have to be a great iron player. So that supersedes where if you can get it out there 310, 320, 310, 320, let's say. And I think that's something that Max can do, especially if he starts hitting that draw a little bit. I know Martin Blackburn doesn't like him to be hitting draws a lot, but he can get that extra rollout. And Max just really likes the golf course, so he's a two-time winner. Again, Rory's won multiple times with Wyndham winning. Wyndham is a guy that hits the ball a country mile, so definitely that's going to play a factor. But Quail Hollow is also known for its 3 closing holes. It's famously nicknamed the Green Mile, which are it's one of these golf courses that those final 3 holes are, like the Bear Trap and some of these others, the Snake Pit and so forth, that we hear about throughout the PGA Tour season. So this golf course, I'm a huge fan of. I mean, watching the President's Cup there, the PGA Championship was there. Just an awesome golf course in North Carolina. Anything you want to share around the golf course? Have you ever been able to get out there?
I have never. I've never been, so I do know a little bit about the golf course, the Green Mile. Those finishing holes coming in, like you said, 330 would be great, but if you can hit it 310 and you got Max Homa's iron game, you're probably going to do all right. So that would probably make sense. Why? How many times has he won?
Twice.
3? Twice. Okay. So
yeah, Rory has won. Let's see. Rory is a 1, 2, 3-time winner.
I mean, does anybody hit it less than 310 anymore? I don't like who's out there. I don't know.
I mean, it's crazy because
that's what I'm saying. That's
when you go way back. I mean, and here's the thing: when the scores are lower, you can bring in some of the guys that don't hit it as far. And it's funny because I'm talking about bombers, right? And guess who won this golf tournament in 2016, 2017? But I want to say that this was before Fazio and some of the increased yardage. It was Brian Harmon, who's not one of the longest guys on tour. So they've definitely moved the golf course to be deeper, further, tougher, because some of these scores, I mean, God, Max Homa won it in 2021 with a score of 2022 with a score of 8 under.
God, Brian Harmon, there's a guy they could make a whole lot fucking cooler, maybe like bringing the harm, I don't know, just try to coolify him a little bit. It's just, so
the waggles are tough for the fans.
Yeah, they don't like that. Yeah,
he's a great player, and he doesn't get enough credit for how damn good he really is.
He is. They need to do a side-by-side video. Remember when Sergio used to do the grab? This thing? How many times?
Oh, my God.
Put them next to each other. I might do that later, just to do a little compare contrast.
That would be awesome because you're spot on. Sergio was driving people crazy for a long time.
Who do you think took longer before they pulled the trigger?
Sergio. Actually, no. We got to go Kevin Na. Kevin Na ran into a pretty big mental issue of pulling the trigger.
Well, he was like full paralysis before he finally pulled the club back. So, wow, I forgot about Kevin Na. Very good.
Yeah, those are the three big ones that I remember. Now, from the key holes that are out there, it's not only the final 3 holes. There's also hole number 7, which is a challenging par 5 where the water comes into play on the second shot. You got strategic play that's required there to navigate around the hazards. Got to position yourself for a safer third shot to the green. A lot of guys lay up on that particular hole. So keep an eye on hole 7, 17, and 18 as the big holes this week. And again, course designers, you got George Cobb, who designed it in 1961. It was then renovated by Arnold Palmer and then later updated by Tom Fazio in preparation for everything recently.
Yeah, roll the ball back, man. 7,500's not long enough. Sorry. Yeah. Have we talked about rolling it back yet?
We did a little bit.
Yeah.
We both said it was stupid.
So this golf course would play what? What'd they say? It's like 15 yards, 20 yards, something like that. So bump her up to about 77.50. That'd be all right. Rock and roll.
Yeah, right.
I'm not playing.
No.
Fuck that, dude. No thanks.
No, I have no desire to play a golf course that long anymore. My ego used to love it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, I'm good.
5 wooded to par 4s. No thanks.
Give me that 7 wood.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, we also have some, field analysis. This is pretty simple, guys. It's everybody. Except for the 2 that we said, Scotty Scheffler and good old Ludwig Oberg. Ludwig would have been a great contender at this golf course. This golf course fits his game beautifully. Great ball striker. Great iron player. And then he's one of the straightest, longest drivers. So it would have been awesome to see him play really well here. Too bad he's not going to be in the field. But let's get into the betting. So who are you thinking?
Joel Day. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm going to go with Ricky Fowler. I think Ricky Fowler. I played with his caddy a couple weeks back. Talked about where his game's at. What's the miss? What's going on? And everything I heard, I think he's poised. I think they need to make a couple putts. He did say he's got this little block miss every now and then off the tee, but it's like nothing. So he said he's dialed in, man. So that's going to be my horse.
Ricky has won there previously, I believe.
Has he really? There you go.
Yes, he has in 2012.
Just odds are. They didn't wonder what they got on him.
So, yeah, that's a pretty good one. Ricky plays well there, too.
Yeah. Good iron player, etc.
He really is.
He's due. I just think he's due.
He is due.
It's been a while.
Let's see. We've got, for me, I'm going to go with Rory McIlroy for the quad, for the hat trick.
It's coming big off the team event. A lot of girlish posing there for the win there.
Bad karaoke.
Bad karaoke. Can't throw a pitch. Super athletic, but that's a good pick. I mean, you can't. Yeah, we like to hate on him a little bit, but
my heart wants to go with Wyndham for going back to
really.
back.
You really think
that course he plays it really, really well, and when he won last year, he was unbeatable. So I really feel like just a golf course that fits him really well. Horses for courses.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at on it.
Okay, that's fair.
Now
let's do next time. Sorry not to interrupt.
Oh yeah, no, you're good.
When we get these picks going, we got to have these odds night of ready. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting.
Completely agree.
I mean, is Wyndham favored?
So Rory is technically the favorite. Wyndham is the third favorite. So Rory's got plus 650. Wyndham's got plus 1,400. You got Xander Schauffele up there, which is interesting at plus 900. Patrick Cantlay at plus 1,800. Max Homa at plus 2,000. Colin Morikawa, who's been playing really well, is up there at plus 2,500. And when I say really well recently, especially at the Masters, Justin Thomas, Cam Young. I mean, Ricky Fowler might be a really good value pick. He's at plus 7,000. Might have to throw some money on him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But now we're moving into the Swannies Style segment, okay?
Woo.
And for the Swannies Style segment, we're going to be doing a giveaway for a chance to win $250 in Swannies gear. Now, more details are to come. You're going to see it, but you got to make sure that you are on Instagram and you are following Pull Hook Golf and you are following Swannies. So that's going to give you a head start, but more details to follow. But again, as part of the Swanee Style segment, we are going to be doing a giveaway for a chance to win $250 in Swanee's gear. And again, more details to come there. That's pretty exciting. I got that email from Swannies. It's like, hey, you want to do a giveaway? I'm like, absolutely. This audience deserves it. They've been looking at me wearing all the Swannies gear all the time. Let's make sure that they got some options themselves and got a chance to win some free gear. So that's pretty sweet that they're going to be doing that. And by the way, when we talk about $250 in Swannies gear, it is like Swannies is not overly expensive, so it's a lot of gear. I do have the list of stuff that it's like a polo, hat, so on and so forth. So I will get more into that, but be paying attention to Instagram especially.
Very good.
All right. Now, the second part to this Swanee Style segment is the golf mullet, the haircut for 2024. I'm seeing it everywhere.
It's like a mohawk. It's like a mohawk mullet, kind of. It's not. God, there was like a fat kid on a baseball team in a movie when I was a kid. Same thing. Anyways, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is. I think we're working away from the waves and the long hair, and it's going that way. I think Patty P's rocking one too. There's a lot of guys doing it now.
Yeah. I had my barber start it because I'm like, man, I'm wearing a hat a lot now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want the curls because I used to in college and in
That's
high
what you're saying.
school. I used to have the curls, but used to have the wings that would come out when it would get too long. So now I'm like, oh, with the golf mullet, you got the trims on the sides and then you got a little bit in the back and then you got the curls will come in. So we're working our way towards it. Edgar's helping me out here. We've got a 2x2x2 plan. So by the third or fourth haircut, I think we're going to start dialing it in. But I got another haircut coming in like another week or two. So
what do you think when is this thing going to be like ripe? When do you think it's ripe?
I'm probably going to say end of June, early July will probably be like, my hair grows fast and it's already starting to grow in. Like I can almost like gel it to get like it spiky almost in the back, but it's definitely, I noticed that this thing has become popular, not the full on mullet like what Cam has or what Jake Knapp has. Those tend to be pretty aggressive mullets, but it is kind of the haircut that everybody loves right now.
It is, and I guess I got to do something alongside you. I can't copy you, so I think I'll leave the top nice, but I'm committed. I will commit to this. It's gonna have to be a high one, not all the way down to the back because I do have a job, but I'm gonna do the rat tail.
Yeah,
I'm gonna grow the rat tail. What do you think?
I love that idea.
Yeah.
And then you've been telling me that, so it's my fault. So I apologize to Rachel and everybody around you, Buttsy, because now you have fresh Jordans all the time. And not to say that you didn't beforehand, but you did send me a text that you're like, man, I hate you because you rock new Jordans all the time. And now all of a sudden I've got to like step up my game. Thank goodness we're doing it remotely right now because otherwise we'd be showing off our sneakers and everything. But you got a couple new Air AJ1s.
I'm calling every golf shop in town because you know how this goes, at least for the retail ones. And the ones, like you said, the other ones, they're a little easier to come by, but the ones, especially in my size, they fly off the shelf. So when you get a restock, you got to be there same day. So yeah, I just picked up the all whites. I got the
you grabbed the all whites.
Got the whites with the little gray speckle.
The bubblegum.
I hadn't worn the ones until that Hackmasters Classic when we had these Masters Edition commissioned. I thought I would hate them, and They're amazing, dude. They're like really good on the golf course. You can wear them with jeans. It's kind of like showing off to the public that you definitely play golf without having to talk about it. So, yeah, I'm in, dude, and it's your fault. So thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And as we finish up around the golf mullet, what is the craziest haircut you've ever rocked?
Oh, man. Little League Baseball, I had the full-blown Viking on top. So, mohawk shaved into a triangle that finished in the back, sides completely bald. Gosh,
I could see that for you.
it was just solid. I was a catcher, man, eating hot dogs and shit way too all the time. But anyway, yeah, the other one is just going from hair to completely big bald. Showed up on Instagram one day completely bald, playing golf ball. That's not a way to go, though. Wearing a golf hat, especially here in the summertime with no hair to kind of buffer, it's a disgusting feeling. It's not comfortable.
That can be
You would
tough.
think it'd be cooler. Yeah, it's not good. So, yeah, that's my deal. What about you?
I had a few bad ones. My parents were not very good with like giving me cool haircuts, except I will say because the golf mullet's in, I had a full on mullet for a little bit as a kid with like spiked hair in the front and then like straight down in the back. And then as my hair got curly, they also basically put a bowl around my head and I had a big old bowl cut. So yeah, there was some crazy shit that's gone down, and then I've done some weird shit too along the way. So like I've shaved my head entirely. I've done a lot of different stuff with the hair, so it tends to grow back quick, which is nice even at the age of good old 4-0. You know, I'm still growing it back relatively fast, and got a full head of hair, thank God, and looking forward to this golf mullet. But yeah, I've had a mullet before, and my sister really never let me down on, or never let me forget about that one. So now that it's like somewhat back in style, we can make the mullet a little trendy. I feel like I'm fully in.
This guy Austin Whittington, remember the
yeah.
bowl from an? Oh, I rocked the bowl hard, dude. I don't think I ever actually put a bowl on the head and cut around it, but
No, me neither.
yeah, that would be. And the only other thing I could think of, the Eminem era, I did frost the tips there.
Same.
I had the frosted white blonde tips for a while, spiked up. I'll send you a really horrible photo. Maybe.
See, you went Eminem. I would say that Justin Timberlake influenced mine when he was in NSYNC because he was getting all the girls, and I'm like, that's a great way to get girls. I'm in. So
curly too, right? Kind of
Yeah.
similar to yeah.
So
Yeah.
I frosted the tips for a while. Used to dye the hair a little bit to go a little blonde, and you know, ladies loved it. So
Ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye. You know, yeah. Drop it. Oh boy, there it is.
But I'm a huge Eminem fan too, but I don't think his hair ever persuaded me to like go the platinum blonde route the yellow blonde look like he had.
No. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Anyways, moving
and-
right along.
Anyways, LIV Golf Singapore. It's our last thing here. I mean, we're going to keep this one on the little bit on the shorter side. I say that, of course, and we have probably the biggest segment of the show tonight with LIV Golf Singapore. Little recap here real quick. So we got the individual winner being Brooks Koepka at 15 under. He is 100% dialed for the PGA Championship. We'll talk about that. We've got the team winner being the Rippers, which Rippers go back-to-back once again, and we'll talk about that finish. And then a little side note, we'll talk about the PGA Championship, some of the invites that also went out. So let's kick it off with Brooks Koepka. How impressive was he this weekend?
The energy with Brooks completely changed, man. Something clicked. It's almost like he hasn't been happy playing where he's playing, despite his stoic ability to say otherwise. The energy on the golf course looked like old Brooks, and that's exciting. He looked hungry, like a murderer out there. So, yeah, that's what I saw. I don't know.
I saw the same thing. He really has that ability to flip the switch and just take it to that next level where when he does that, man, he just, and you can tell he's locked in because PGA Championship, he's got a great chance of winning that golf tournament. And when he gets locked in like this, I don't think he was happy with his Masters appearance at all.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, no putts falling, some pretty poor errors. That wasn't the case this past week. So
Totally agree. And then rippers. I mean, fuck, man. Cam Smith and Mark Leishman both finished T2 at -13 and have two of the best rounds Sunday, where Cam Smith went 7 under. You got Mark Leishman going 5 under. And they just had an incredible Sunday that brought them all the way to the front and end up getting that back-to-back victory. I like that. You know, we had Brooks Koepka really in the lead the entire time. There were some scares from Cam and Mark, but, you know, the team aspect just brought in that additional element, and I love that.
yeah, same here. I have to agree. Team Australia is hot.
That they are. Even Matty Jones is playing pretty well.
Yeah. Yes, he is. I mean, what did Cam make 9 birdies on Sunday, something like that? 1 bogey. Chipped in twice. No, he chipped in once.
Chipped in that one time.
He's got his whatever. He's working on his golf swing like 2-3 weeks ago. You saw him doing a little thing. Now it looks like that's dialed in. Yeah, fun to see.
It really is. Yeah, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 birdies, 1 bogey. And you know what's crazy? He bogeyed the par 5 7th. That
Brutal.
hurts. That hurts the soul just a little bit. Well, then we got the invites going for the PGA Championship.
Yeah, Taylor Taint.
Good old Taylor Gooch. He got his invite for the PGA. Taylor Tate. That's pretty good. David Poog. And then we've got Dean Burmester. They all receive invites to play the PGA. And then I did just see that Louis Oosthuizen also received an invite, but apparently turned it down for personal reasons. He's got something going on. I don't know. I literally saw that right before coming on tonight. Just popped across it from Twitter. I don't know if that is real or not, but little surprising. But if you got personal issues, I get it.
So will they extend? Like, will that go to somebody else? I'm sure, and will it be a LIV guy?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Right? Is that like reserved for LIV guys, or is somebody else in the world going to get that?
I do wonder if somebody like Abraham Ancer or Carlos Ortiz, like one of those guys, if they would get that invite. Well, I think Joaquin's already in, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's got enough points from his wins on the DP World Tour during the offseason. But the one thing with LIV Golf that does kind of drive me nuts, we don't have an event for a couple of weeks. Next one is going to be after the PGA. It's going to be June 7th through the 9th at Golf Club of Houston. And I would actually say that that's one of the downsides of having a global golf tour, is that you have to give guys the ability to travel back, relax, and then get back to it. It's like that travel it's exhausting for a lot of these guys.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it's hard enough going across the United States. Yeah, the amount of jet lag and traveling all over the world. I'm sure that's not something you want to do week in and week out. It's not sustainable.
Definitely not.
Plus, isn't LIV originally designed to work in concert with some of the bigger tour events and majors? I mean, technically, they said.
I mean, in the beginning, I think that was kind of the plan, is to show the PGA Tour that, hey, we can work like in
cahoots.
Yeah, what is that word? In
harmony.
Gosh, there's a word. I want to say it begins with a C. I can't think of it. But they can coincide together and kind of work together as, you know, some of the smaller PGA Tour events and stuff like that. But we've seen it where now, like LIV Golf Las Vegas versus Waste Management Phoenix Open, it's like that's not really going against one of the smaller PGA Tour events. Last week it did, because Singapore versus the Byron Nelson. I'll tell you right now, like I watched more of LIV Golf Singapore than I did the Byron Nelson. So,
yeah, that's pretty crazy to say, though. You wouldn't have said that 3 years ago, probably. hey, I'm going to be watching this live event again, or the event more than the Byron.
Yeah, and the nice thing about LIV Golf, and I've said this before, and I can't stress this enough, is the fact that you can go on and watch it anytime. It's an immediate replay that's available the entire round. They do the shorter like replays that are like 15 minutes or highlights of the round that are just condensed. And they do a really good job with those. Like for the PGA Tour, they're not the greatest. Like you can't watch the entire round over again. And then on that same like sentiment, if you watch the highlights, once again, it's truncated.
I wish my only thing, I wish LIV wouldn't block you from screenshotting or screen recording when it's live, because there's so much cool shit that doesn't make their highlight reels that I feel like it would only be better for the brand to allow guys like myself and everybody else to like post it. Oh, look at this, blah blah blah. Yeah, catch a hot mic that comes out on Instagram. That's not happening. So
they used to. So you used to be able to through the app, but they've gotten more advanced with it, and now they block it, which sucks. You're right. It would be great for social media personalities and shows and so forth to be able to use this type of content and to promote them, because that's part of what they're trying to do. And I mean, the other thing that I do see from LIV Golf right now too, which this tells me that, man, not only are they not going anywhere, but also that they are in a position right now to where their media team gets it more than the PGA Tour side, because they're doing a ton of stuff with influencers. Like teams are doing a lot with golf influencers in the space. They're doing YouTube videos and everything. It's like, they get it. I feel like they are moving more and more in that direction, and that's going to be big for continuing to build out the audience for LIV Golf, because there's a lot of people that watch YouTube golf that do not watch the PGA Tour or LIV right now.
Right? No, I'm with you. I mean, why wouldn't you want to market for free to like a hyper-focused group, your target audience? I don't know. Makes a lot of sense to me. They're not making any money off of it, but I don't think they're worried about that right now. So
don't think so either. But they're going to have to figure out how to turn this into real revenue. I know the franchises are the big one, to where the captains own most of the captains that I know of their contracts. That's the other thing too. Before we do hop off, I plead with LIV Golf, and I tag them on Twitter around this, that we need transparency when it comes to contract values and contract lengths. That's one thing that they do not provide, and it drives me nuts, because they're opening up this window so that trades can take place mid-season. So the window's about to come up, and they're going to be able to trade players and move them and so forth, but they're talking about how, you can't extend certain players and so forth, and if their contract's up, you can renegotiate new contracts with them. And it's like, how are we supposed to cover this if we have no idea what those contracts are?
Right. Yeah, you kind of need to do that. Like,
you got to at least share it with the media, like us.
It's an important piece. And not to I don't know if I saw this in your notes, so forgive me, but I did see that rumor that they're looking at buying up golf courses to be home bases for. You spoke to this. You said, wouldn't it be cool if it was really like that, if it was a regional thing? And yeah, I think I heard that they're looking at buying up courses and making those like home tracks for the team, kind of like a baseball park, right, or a football stadium. So
they're moving closer and closer to having home events and so forth, that, instead of having to worry about, because they have had a tough time booking golf courses. That was another thing. The venue in Chicago is not a super well-known golf course. It's a muni. It's like they had a very tough time getting a golf course to allow them to come in. And I heard that they had a very tough time with Las Vegas as well, when they were trying to book LIV Golf Las Vegas this past February. And so that coincides to the fact that they're probably at this point just like, you know what, let's just buy some golf courses and build home bases, because they're still figuring it out. Like, this product has been an evolution, and now it's gotten to the point to where the product's really good, and they need to take that next step of building out these facilities and everything and starting to attach regionality to these teams. That's going to be pretty neat.
Yeah, you walk in the golf shop, all the team merch is there. People can start kind of feeling like they're a little more a part of that or a part of the squad. Yeah.
It also... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I don't know. I'm a big LIV fan, but I still don't know if the people that are adopting it do like really carry the weight of the team aspect above just watching the guys play. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that's, yeah. You know what I mean?
I threw out a poll a long time, like probably 3 months ago or so, that I actually asked that question. I was like, do you like, or what do you like the most? And was it LIV Golf and the individuals or the teams? And it was overwhelming individuals.
I'm sure that's what you're used to. That's what that's what the average Joe has been accustomed to for the last, forever. So it's tough. It's going to take some while for people to adopt that, especially people that didn't grow up playing golf or play on college teams or high school teams and understand the camaraderie that is team golf. If you didn't compete, you really don't have any way to connect with that other than getting used to it.
These team facilities would be pretty cool, because then you can get a community behind it, and that would be pretty neat.
Yeah. A town would be proud of the team,
So we got a little note here from Anti-LIV. No real fans. Still after 3 years in the USA, it's a failure. Maybe move it to Australia. Well, Australia has a huge audience around it. I think their events in the US do fine. I don't like, I get what you're saying, Anti-LIV, with some of these events like in Singapore and in Jeddah. Like, there's barely any fans that are out there, and from a viewership standpoint, I get that. But from a fan perspective, like, I still think it's pretty cool to see them playing this golf course behind me, and to have that scenery and backdrop and everything, and building out new areas globally to build up interest in golf is a positive for the sport, and it takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
And he said in the U.S. primarily, there's no real fans in the U.S., but
that I don't believe.
No, you can go to any LIV Golf post or anywhere where there's anything mentioned about LIV and just take the time to go through the comments, and it's at least 50-50 of people that are like, fire, this is awesome, versus this is a joke, right? There's plenty of people in there that are fans of it, I would say.
I haven't really met too many people that dislike LIV, like within our golf circles. Like, I just haven't run into too many people. Like, yes, the PGA Tour caddies and a lot of the pros that I've talked to and stuff, like, yeah, I get it. Like, those guys, it's a bit more personal, and they're coming from a PGA Tour perspective because they've stayed loyal to the tour and so forth. But really, from like just guys that, even the groups that Buttsy, you and I have kind of commingled as well, it's like nobody's really like disliking LIV Golf, and more people. It's funny because more and more guys are starting to watch it now.
Yeah, and I think that it coincides with. I haven't met anybody that's better than a 12 handicap and lower that hates it. It's something to do with better players. Yeah, I don't want to say income, but I think there's people in certain income brackets that understand the take for the money and stuff like that, and that's opening a whole Pandora's box by saying something like that. But yeah, I just, like you said, I haven't met anybody that's good at golf that really hates it.
And for a 3-year startup, for them to have that big of an audience in Australia obviously says a lot in and of itself. But again, I get that some of these locations are not going to have huge audiences. That's one of the issues with having a global golf tour. Some of the stops are not going to have big audiences, but it helps grow those audiences.
For sure. Yeah, it's good TV. or will become good TV. That's for you, LIV Golf hater.
Now, anti-live, the other thing, because you did bring that up, that I will mention is that so I hosted a global golf, or it's a global consulting firm based overseas that I hosted the State of the Game with this past Friday. And one of the interesting things was that the expert that I had on talks to LIV officials and PGA Tour officials almost on a daily basis. And so it was pretty interesting to get that perspective from them. But the overarching kind of theme around it was that LIV's a little bit nervous about players losing interest in just playing for money. And I think there's a couple guys that come to mind when that's said. One in particular is Dustin Johnson. I think Dustin, like, there was hard rumors. Like, when I say hard rumors, from a lot of people that know DJ well, and it really started to hit home that he signed a 3-year contract in the beginning, and that after the 3 years, he was going to be done. He's looked disinterested out there.
Yeah, that has to play a part, but you could say a guy like that's always teed it up for the money, you know? Whether it was a PGA Tour or now he has a way bigger platform to make a lot more money, he's probably always teed it up for the money. You know, once he figured out he wasn't going to win 30 major championships, let's see how much we can make here. Let's get the bag. And then this big bag came up, and hey, here we are. But like you said, you think he's playing less hard? Is that like
he just looks disinterested out there?
Yeah,
like he's not the DJ of old. That's for damn sure. Like, I don't know how much work he's putting in to this. I mean, he did finish 7th. He shot 10 under, but he just looks like nonchalant about it all. Like, he's always kind of had that vibe to him. But with those rumors that he's retiring after his contract's done, I mean, and riding off into the sunset, there's a couple guys that I like that are concerning. Cam Smith being another one, but it kind of seems like Cam is back to liking the game again and wanting to compete at a high level. It just does. I don't know if I see that same thing from DJ, and I love DJ, man. DJ is one of my favorite players.
It's totally plausible that you might hit a certain amount of money and just stop giving a shit. I 100% think that's probably possible. Yeah.
I mean, if you've grinded for so long playing professional golf and then you got an opportunity to take a ton of money and then after 3 years go out and just hang out on your yacht for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
He seems like one of those guys that would do that.
You might get to the point where life changes with that amount of cash and you like to do other shit.
He's got young kids now. He's got Paulina.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I don't know if I would say that's unacceptable to do that. You know, it'd be tough. I would have to be there. You know, it's tough to say.
Alrighty, well, that wraps up this episode of Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. Want to thank Swannies Golf once again, folks. We're going to be doing a giveaway, so make sure to pay attention to the Pull Hook Golf Instagram page for details around that. We're going to do a collaboration with Swannies around this giveaway. It's going to be at least $250 in Swannies gear, and certainly go to swannies.co, utilize promo code PullHookGolf25 at checkout for 25% off your entire order. And we'll just throw in this last comment by Austin Whittington, which is, sorry, I removed it there. DJ highlights from the 2010s are awesome. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, they sure are. That was something else when he was hot. Yeah, agree.
Until next week, Buttsy. I think next week we will be in person, so looking forward to that. And for everybody else, we will see you next week. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks, dude. See you guys.
My pleasure. Peace.